Welcome back, everyone. We're diving deep today into Elizabeth von Arnim's The Enchanted April.
Oh, a classic. I love this book.
It's more than just a book review, though, right? It's like we're going to unearth all those themes.
Exactly. Yeah. The character arcs, too.
And pull out some wisdom that we can all...
for everyday life.
Exactly.
Exactly.
So picture this, okay. 1920s England.
Okay.
Post-war, kind of gloomy.
Right.
And this group of women, they crave escape.
They're yearning for it. Yeah.
And let me tell you, they find it.
What I find so fascinating is how von Arnim uses the setting.
Oh, yeah.
Like San Salvatore, this Italian castle. It's not just a pretty backdrop, right? It's like another character almost perched above the Mediterranean, so vivid.
She paints such a vivid picture with her words.
It really is like you can smell the flowers and feel that sunshine.
And that warmth, like it transforms these women, wouldn't you say?
Transforms them completely.
Because speaking of transformations, let's talk about those characters.
Oh, yes.
Mrs. Wilkins, so timid at first. And Lady Caroline, completely walled off.
Yeah, but their journeys, right.
So different.
But they intertwine.
It's fascinating.
It is. It's like watching them unravel and become new people almost.
And Mrs. Wilkins, I mean, talk about a transformation.
Right. She starts out downtrodden, but then...
Yeah, blossoms. It's both funny and so heartwarming.
Remember when she wears that bright silk jumper to dinner?
Oh, yes.
A total rebellion against her husband's drab preferences.
It's a small act.
But it speaks volumes.
She's like owning herself, finally.
Exactly. And she starts to revel in these simple things.
The garden, the picnic.
Just pure joy, you know?
It's refreshing, honestly.
So refreshing.
And then there's Lady Caroline, arriving with all her cynicism.
Oh, she wants to be alone so badly.
Like a wound-up spring.
Desperate to just unwind, yeah.
At first, she isolates herself.
But that beauty and those other women...
It chips away at her, slowly.
It's like a slow thaw.
It's those shared moments, I think.
Oh, absolutely.
That unexpected laughter, the vulnerability.
Oh, that's where the magic happens.
I know. Think about that scene.
Which one?
Where they're all huddled together in the rain.
Oh, yes.
Hilarious.
Trying to stay dry.
But it breaks down those barriers, you know?
You're so right. Shared experiences like that.
Unexpected bonds.
They forge those connections you don't expect.
We've all had moments like that.
Haven't we?
Where, I don't know, maybe we laugh together or struggle through something.
And suddenly you're closer.
To someone you never thought you'd connect with.
Exactly. It shows how much we crave that real connection, you know?
Especially in a world that can feel, well...
isolating.
Exactly.
And von Arnim, she weaves in these deeper ideas about society, too.
Oh, yeah?
Like what's expected of women, especially in the 1920s.
Right, like Mrs. Arbuthnot.
Yes. She feels so stifled, always the perfect hostess.
Putting everyone else first.
It's heartbreaking.
You can just feel her yearning for something more.
More than just being a dutiful wife.
Right, yes. Von Arnim is subtly critiquing those pressures on women.
To always put others first.
It's a critique that still resonates today, honestly.
Oh, absolutely. We're still dealing with those expectations.
Trying to find that balance, you know?
Between what society expects and what we want for ourselves.
It's tricky.
It really is.
It makes you think about the compromises we make.
The dreams we put on hold.
It's like reclaiming our own stories, wouldn't you say?
Yes, and it's not just about individual freedom, it's about women supporting each other, you know? Like Mrs. Wilkins and Lady Caroline, they're so different, but...
they come to rely on each other.
Uplifting each other.
Their friendship is powerful.
It really is.
It shows the power of really seeing each other.
Strengths, vulnerabilities.
And offering that support without judgment.
It's like they create this space where...
they can just be themselves.
Their true selves, finally.
Exactly.
It's beautiful. And it's not just the women, you know? The men transform, too.
Oh, that's a great point.
Like, it's almost a ripple effect, right? The women change, and then the men around them have to re-examine things.
It's true. Like Mellersh.
Yes. He arrives all stuffy and disapproving.
Ready to drag Lottie back to London.
To their boring routine.
Convinced he knows what's best for her.
But then he sees her changing, her joy.
Right. Her confidence.
Something shifts in him.
Like he starts to loosen up a bit.
Even appreciate San Salvatore, you know?
Remember that picnic scene?
Oh, yeah. He's actually enjoying himself.
It's a far cry from the Mellersh who first arrived.
Totally different. He's letting go a little.
Seeing the world through Lottie's eyes, I think.
Rediscovering that joy he'd forgotten.
And then there's Frederick.
Rose's husband, so distant.
Wrapped up in his work, totally.
And poor Rose. She just wants his attention.
Any sign that he needs her.
But it's not until he sees her at San Salvatore
So happy, connected to those other women.
that he snaps out of it.
That scene where he sees her through the window laughing.
Oh, it's powerful.
You can almost feel those walls crumbling.
Around his heart.
And he runs to her.
It's like their roles are reversed, suddenly.
He's the one seeking connection.
Needing reassurance.
It's a beautiful moment. So vulnerable.
It really shows how transformative it can be.
To see someone you love embrace who they are.
Exactly.
It makes you think, how often do we take our loved ones for granted?
Right. We get complacent.
We need those shake-ups sometimes,
Like an Enchanted April.
To remind us what matters.
And von Arnim doesn't make it simple either.
We don't mean.
Even after Frederick and Rose reunite,
Yeah.
they're still figuring things out.
They have to find a new balance.
Relationships are never static, are they?
They're always evolving.
Always.
And even Mr. Briggs changes a bit.
Oh, yes. He's drawn to San Salvatore, the beauty.
But there's more, right?
He's intrigued by those women.
Their warmth, that energy.
His infatuation with Lady Caroline.
Maybe a little misguided.
But it shows a softer side to him.
Like he's yearning for something, too.
Connection, maybe.
It makes you realize even those who seem to have it all
Could still feel lonely.
longing for something more.
Absolutely.
So what can we learn from all these journeys?
These transformations, these revelations.
Von Arnim gives us so many life lessons, don't you think?
She really does, and they're still relevant today.
Like the importance of embracing beauty.
Not just superficial beauty, though.
No, the small joys, the things that nourish us.
Like Mrs. Wilkins and her wildflower.
Or Lady Caroline lost in the Italian landscape.
Opening our eyes to what's around us.
Even when life is chaotic.
Finding that beauty.
It's a reminder that it's everywhere if we just look.
It really is.
And connecting with people, truly connecting.
Oh, that's so important.
Building those meaningful relationships.
Supporting each other, understanding.
Sharing laughter, genuine moments.
It's like those women at San Salvatore. It changes them.
Makes them stronger.
It's not just about romance either.
No, those deep friendships are vital too.
They enrich our lives in so many ways.
They really do. Those friends who see us for who we are.
Celebrate our wins, comfort us when we're down.
It makes you want to pick up the phone, call them.
Make time for those connections.
Cherish the people who bring us joy.
Absolutely. And you know what I appreciate about von Arnim?
What's that?
She doesn't wrap everything up perfectly, like with a bow.
Right.
Because life's not like that, is it?
Not at all. It's messy.
These women, they leave San Salvatore changed,
Mm-hmm.
but they're still figuring things out.
Still navigating it all.
Just like we are.
Exactly. And that's what makes it so, I don't know, real
Yeah.
and comforting too.
It's not about reaching some perfect happiness.
It's the journey.
Yeah.
The journey with all its ups and downs.
Growth isn't a finish line. It's...
A process.
Yes. And it's about finding those moments, those connections.
Those sparks of beauty, even when things are imperfect.
Remember how the book ends? They've all left San Salvatore.
But there's still that feeling.
That herp.
That the magic lingers.
Like it touched them, changed them. It'll stay with them.
I love that sense of possibility.
It's like a reminder that we need those enchanted Aprils in our lives.
Those escapes, those times to renew.
Reconnect with ourselves.
Figure out what truly matters.
But it's also about, taking that feeling with you back to everyday life.
Because we can't all just run off to a castle.
No, but we can create those moments.
Our own little pockets of enchantment.
That joy, that connection.
Like life richer.
More meaningful.
Exactly. And the Enchanted April shows us how.
It reminds us to question those expectations holding us back.
Embrace the messiness. Find that inner peace.
And blossom even when things are tough.
So let's bring it back to you, dear listener.
What's your Enchanted April? What are you yearning for?
What beauty are you missing in your everyday?
And what connections have you been neglecting?
And how can you, like those women?
Find the courage to defy expectations, embrace the mess.
And cultivate that inner peace to truly thrive.
Big questions, I know.
But we'd love to hear your thoughts.
Share your reflections on the Enchanted April.
Maybe even your own Enchanted April moments.
Leave them in the comments below.
And until next time, keep searching for those moments.
Those sparks of joy that make life a little brighter.
A little more meaningful.